tough being next to someone so handsome, but I'll see how I manage. Jimmy, when Wikipedia was first getting big, it was subject to a lot of snobbery, a lot of scrutiny, for error rates that were frankly a lot smaller than what ChatGPT has been producing this year. Why do you think that is? And are generative AI companies getting the scrutiny they deserve?
So, I mean, I think one of the things that we've seen over and over and over again is a new technology comes out and there's kind of a really easy, lazy alarmism that can happen. So I remember in the early days of eBay, it was like, oh no, somebody's selling a gun on eBay. Oh no, somebody's selling their baby on eBay. And then after a while, we sort of figured out, yeah, you can list whatever you want on eBay, but people will report it gets taken down. It's actually not that exciting. Nobody's actually sold their baby's soul on eBay. And then, you know, there came a time then it was Wikipedia. That was the thing. I remember when Anna Nicole Smith died, who was a sort of a tabloid sensation, and somebody vandalized Wikipedia for just a minute or something, and just blanked her page and wrote curse words or something. And I got 8 calls from journalists saying, does this show a flaw in the Wikipedia model? And I'm like, I think there's a flaw in the media. Anna Nicole Smith dies and I get 8 phone calls. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And so now, you know, when we look at the emergence of ChatGPT, clearly it's not good enough for a great many purposes. It's an amazing thing to play with and so forth, but when you really start to use it, what initially seems fantastic, you realize is pretty bad. And I do think it's getting a lot of scrutiny. I mean, there's no one in this room who doesn't know a story or something about ChatGPT. One of my favorite, by the way, is I love to ask Wikipedia about my wife, Kate Garvey, who's not a famous person, but she's been in the media, and you know, she's...
you could find out about Kate Garvey if you did a bit of Google.
I could, yeah, she has a Wikipedia entry.
Yeah, well, you don't need to.
But the fun thing is to ask, who did she marry? It's someone different every day. It's kind of amusing.
The less handsome co-founder of Wikipedia.
Yes, and it's always vaguely plausible. You know, it's people who she's worked with in the past, or have been in politics in the UK and so forth. And so that's the kind of thing that you get out of ChatGPT. You get plausible sounding nonsense far too often. And that's gotten better with 4. And I think it will continue to get better. But you know, I think we're still a long way from it being able to be a reliable source or to really...
But one of the ways you got around that was by having strong sourcing. Is that a solution for these language models to have citations, or is it something else?
I do. I mean, I think that is potentially incredibly important. I've been working with Sacha Baron Cohen on this idea he has of an AI for children, not necessarily children, teenagers, that is really restricted in what it reads to quality sources. I don't know if that'll work or not, but it's an interesting concept, because for certain kinds of things, sort of reading all of Reddit and all of Twitter, it's really good in terms of learning how people actually speak casually and so forth. But if you really want to get facts, it's problematic. And actually one of the things, an example that we see right now, and I think it's a risk to Google, today I just checked to make sure this is still true. If you type in, are there any countries in Africa that start with the letter K, the first quote that Google prominently features at the top is, no, there are none. The closest one is Kenya, but that starts with a K. And it's like, okay, that's nonsense, which Google has picked up because it went viral, lots of people linked to that page and so forth. It's sort of the natural consequence. But that sort of thing where in this case, it's not that anybody's maliciously claiming nonsense, but it's the sort of thing that the Google algorithm can't quite recognize. ChatGPT got it wrong, but any human would say, are you joking? Like, that's complete nonsense.
Well, that is just a literal demonstration of why you need humans in all of these loops.
For sure. And I think there's a lot more subtlety. So if you ask ChatGPT questions about someone who's really famous or some historical topic, it's actually much better. And that's where Wikipedia doesn't need help. Like, we've got tons of people who've written about the Battle of the Bulge in World War II.